Here's another hard strata problem year-over-year churn that was asked by Lyft, and this is an important question because churn should be analyzed at every company, whether it's customers, revenue, or employees. In this problem, we're going to do it on a yearly basis, and this is what the starting table looks like, and this is what the end is going to look like with the end year, the total churns, the previous churns, and the direction. And this direction part is why this problem is labeled hard, because you have to use a case statement, and it's going to be tricky, but we will solve it. To start off this, we're going to have to select, so because index is a keyword, we have to put it in a bracket. I'm going to tell you that right now. So wait to select it in bracket, and we need to do year with the, let's get to the column section, the end date. So we're going to call this as end year because that's how they want it in the final, and that makes sense. But we're going to have to do year end date as end year. And we run it, this is what we get. However, if nothing's there, we don't want to include it. So we don't need this. So where end rate is not null, we don't need those data points. The null values, they're still working at the company. So group by, here we go. And year. And that's what we need to do is count the index. And we're going to say this as something else as ID. That way we don't have to keep renaming or putting brackets around index. So this is the total churns. So we're actually going to call this total churn. And let's flip this. Year should always be first so it looks pretty and we can see our data. And I'm going to run it again. There's the total churn, there's the year. The next thing we need to do is create this into a CTE table. We need to select end year, total churn from the CTE. And you can call a CTE anything you would like. Oh, there shouldn't be a comma here. So there shouldn't be a comma there, but there will be a comma there because I'm going to be using a lag statement. We need to lag previous churn by one value. So it's going to get the previous value, comma 1 over. So this is a window function. We have to order by next. So order by end year. And let's put this on a separate line so we can see as previous. We'll just call it previous for now. There we go. So now you can see that it's correctly lagged. The total churn for the previous year here was 5, 5, 8, 25. And this is kind of how it wants to look like in the expected report right here. The one thing I will say, another reason why this problem is tricky is because, as you can see, they want the solution in descending order by year. So we're going to have to do this as descending. There we go. Now our solution looks correct. And we're going to call this as a second table, CTE2. Once again, you can call it whatever you'd like. And now's the tricky part, because we have to do the same thing, but we're going to have to use a case statement if it's decreasing or increasing. So total churn, and then previous from CTE2, because we're using this table now. Total churn. And when you have an error like this, we want to debug, see how it highlighted so it's all correct. The multi-part is different and year could not. Oh, there's a period here. There we go. Here is, I'm recording these live, so it sometimes, yeah, that's part of coding. That should be a comma and not a period. So anyway, now's the hard part. We have to do a case statement. Case when, so if the total churn is less than previous, then decrease. And let's run this to make sure. Okay, there it is, a decrease. And actually this needs to be increase. So this actually needs to be a lead, because we're going backwards. There we go. See, it's 725. Because we're going backwards from the highest year down, we need to have a lead statement. So instead of finding the previous, it's leading forward one. See how it's up one? And to make this less confusing, we're going to call this as direction like they want. And a real setting too, you would want to have what it's supposed to look like, and you would want to mathematically have fake numbers to make sure it's working correctly, and simple numbers before you run this to live production. So it's a little weird that we're looking at the expected output, but it's really not. So when it's then decrease, and then when previous, actually we'll just do the same thing, except we need to flip the sign. So when it's greater than, then increase as direction. And looks like we have a minor issue. Our solution. Okay, so the biggest issue, first of all, is that there's no 0 here. And there needs to be another one. So when they're equal, you can also just do an else statement. But when total churn is equal, then no change. So I'm going to run it one more time, and then the final thing is what we're going to have to do is do a coalescence on previous churn, because right now it's showing up as a null. Right there. Okay, but I fixed that. Now this should be an increase, because this is bigger than that. But it's not detecting it because this previous needs to happen earlier. So this coalescence needs to be here because it's not calculating. Let's run it one more time, and it's solved. So yeah, you can't, because it's pulling from this table, it's not actually going to think about that there's a 0 because it's copying this previous. So now when we run it, this is the final solution. And like I said, this is definitely a hard problem because of this case statement and all the leads, and it's going reverse. So if this problem is hard, ask any questions because it's definitely a well-deserved hard problem. Thanks for watching. Bye.